Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Elden Ring Mage walkthrough. We are starting from the Agil Lake North Grace, and we're headed for this cave here, Limgrave Tunnels, which I've marked on the map. And in general, the tunnels in this game are a good source of smithing stones. That's what you end up getting out of them. Just kind of get to a point where we can drop down here without too much trouble. Possible we could level up here with our runes here. Let's see, 800, 200. I think that's enough. Let's see, we're gonna keep working on our decks to prep for Moonveil. Moonveil has a, I think it's Dex 18 requirement. When these guys are stationary like this, you can just come up behind them and hit them with the sword. It saves mana. The normal smithing stones will look yellow like this. Sombers are white. And they're embedded in the wall, so you just have to like keep an eye on them, and sometimes they're kind of hidden. So for example, occasionally they'll kind of hide them behind planks and stuff like that. So here there's a way down. Instead of taking the elevator, you just drop like this. A lot of them have shortcuts like that, and then there can be loot kind of hidden, like sometimes there's runes, sometimes there's extra smithing stones. Oh! Dogs can be ridiculous. They're more dangerous than most enemies. It's kind of funny. So like this, they frequently will hide the smithing stone. Sneaky, right? So that's where the way forward was. Now here, there's a golden rune, so how I showed you the shortcut before. This time there is actual loot. Not much loot, but something. And then in general in tunnels, when you see the double door like this, that's a boss. Last little smithing stone. So just hitting him on the legs will take 2 rock slings enough to stagger, probably, and then you just wait for him to fall. Let's see, it's ahead. Ah, too slow. Oh, should we get him again? It can be really hard to get over in time. There we go. That gets you the Roar Medallion, which increases Roar and Breath attacks. Don't have anything like that, but... So now from here, we'll go back to the entrance. So we're going to go back to the Church of LA and talk to Kale about Blythe. This is also a time, you know, since we have some runes here.
Well, you're back.
We can go ahead and pick up the cracked pots and the remaining cookbooks.
Ah, then you met Blythe, did you? Wonderful. I'm glad I pointed you in his direction. He's boorish, blunt, and couldn't find his nose with both hands. But he's a good egg. I think the two of you are sure to find the best in one another. Goodbye.
Okay, so now from here, we'll go to Agil Lake South, and we're going to go into that sort of finger-looking section. Let me show you here. So like here-ish, And as we head north here, we're going to get invaded. So an invader will be like a red NPC, and you'll get dismounted and you have to fight and defeat them. Now in this case, if you survive long enough, Yura shows up to help, so you can kind of pull him back. So Yura will be coming from this direction where we're coming from right now. The invader will be coming from ahead of us, so you can kind of just back up to you know, get them to fight a little quicker. So remember, the goal is to stay alive long enough for Yura to join in, which you can do by, you know, backing up this way. You should be able to get in some rock slings early on. He has a mid-range attack that he does that's extremely lethal. That's what you want to watch out for. Like, once he engages, you want to be close.
If it isn't Nerijus, the end is nigh. For you and your blood.
So we killed him before Yura even got involved. If you go up here, we'll go back to the cave in a second. You can actually talk to Yura about what just happened.
Ah, we meet again. To have fought Nerijus and lived. You must have seen your share of battle. I am Yura, as you might recall. Hunter tarnished, held in thrall by you stay the path. Just remember, don't let your emotions.
So they're like crazy decks
Perhaps
tarnished.
we will meet again. Be on your way. Perhaps we will meet.
So now we're going to go back to this cave here. This is Murkwater Cave. Now there are tripwires set up. If you look, you can see them there. And then there's also ones there. So the goal is to avoid getting mobbed by enemies by accidentally stumbling through the tripwires. See, there's one there. If you trip one of those tripwires, literally all of these guys come running, so it can be a little overwhelming. All that work for a lousy mushroom. here we have a boss. Now this is Patches. We don't want to kill him, so don't use attacks that are too strong, because there's a point midway through the fight where he's going to surrender.
Just help yourself to a man's personal belongings, huh? You scheming little...
So you can see him up top there.
The gods demand repentance. Cough up your coin. All of it. Wait, please.
So just make sure to stop when he says wait.
White flag and all.
You'll get Grovel for mercy.
Finally come round, have you? I knew you would. You're a lady of reason, through and through. Well, what do you know? You're tarnished, like me. Now, how did I get that wrong? I took you for a Demi-Human or some such. An innocent mistake, I assure you. Well, water under the bridge. Now we're squared up. How about we play nice from now on?
So forgive and forget, because he's going to be a merchant.
I'm Patches. Patches the untethered, tarnished like you, only free-spirited. Nomadic, you might say, only for now. Those retired soldiers turned bandits. They're paying for my gruel, in exchange for my, well, showing them the ropes. But honestly, this looting racket is bloody terrifying. Frankly, I'm ready to wash my hands clean. Maybe set up a legitimate shop. So don't be a stranger. I'll be ready to wheel and deal come next time. Don't forget to put I'll be ready to wheel.
So now we can exit the game. It's just the fastest way to do this, and then come right back in and his shop will be set up. You could also go back to the Grace and then hoof it back here if you wanted, if you didn't want to exit the game.
Well, nice of you to drop in finally. It's all a bit ad hoc, but I'm sure you'll find something. And welcome to Patches Emporium, where you won't need a refund, because everything's top-notch.
So he has an item called Margit's Shackle. Margit is the first major boss we're going to fight. This shackle will actually immobilize Margit during his phase 1 of his fight. It won't work in phase 2, but it will work in phase 1. So if you're struggling with Margit or just want to make the fight a little easier, you can buy this. Let's see, he also has a cookbook, which we'll go ahead and get. He has a sacrificial twig if you want more sacrificial twigs. And then gold pickled foulfoot is nice in that, like, if you're wanting to farm for the smithing stones, say in Celia Crystal Tunnel, you can pop one of these, and then that'll increase the chances that the enemies will drop, you know, the loot that you want.
Yeah, I had those bandits make a clean break. Now they're all suppliers, and good ones at that. I mean, they don't understand a word I'm saying, but it hardly matters. We have a natural connection. They're all foot soldiers, survivors of a defeated army, worked to the bone by their high and mighty lord, only to be thrown out with the rubbish. It's the same old story everywhere I go. To hell with it all. Well, just something I'm saving, but then again, and besides, this one, everything. Cheers for that.
So now, if you go and open this chest, it's an actual transporter trap.
Well, well, well. I should have known, you scheming little thief. The gods demand vengeance! Vengeance!
So we have to get to a site of grace and rest in order to make this stop. The easiest one to get to is just the outskirts. And once you rest, you're out of the trap. So now we can go back to Murkwater Cave and confront Patches for what that chest did to us. No, his thing is the passage to get to him, you can just kind of hug the right wall.
You're alive! God, you had me proper scared. Well, maybe it's a sign to keep your mitts off what's not rightly yours, hmm? But I'll forgive you. View it as a learning experience. At any rate, it's just nice. Don't miss all the bargains here at Patch's Emporium.
And we get the calm down gesture. So he does also have a stone sword key, shackle, and a twig, just in terms of stuff to get.
Cheers for that.
But as long as we haven't gone to Liurnia, he'll be here. Well, if you go to Liurnia, he'll leave here and move. So now we're going to go back to the cave entrance. And there's the catacombs over here. Jellyfishes. So the catacombs are there. There's also a spirit spring just to show where how that connects. Just to show you. Oh, I can't really show you where we are though easily. But you can kind of should be able to get a feel for where we are. We're going to head into Murkwater Catacombs. Trying to remember it. Yeah, there's one guy right there. Remember, the other guy can't hurt us. As long as you're in that animation to do the critical hit, you're safe. So you see how even though I'm a mage, I just really like guard counter as a way of dealing with those guys. I just find it really reliable and safe. So So here there's several, and they're going to throw things at you, but if you can get them to come down, you can hit them with that trap. Do it again. So that took them both out. Pull the lever. Remember to hit X after a heavy door opens to clear the message so that you can continue to take actions. And this is what a trap plate looks like, just so you have a good visualization. It's kind of a raised square. So you can see there's another one, so we can kind of lure them. Although in this case, I think we're good to just... So you can see damage them a little. You want to get your shield up immediately after critical hitting the one. And then avoid the plate once we no longer want to trigger it. This is the Grave Warden Duelist. Now when you have a room with pillars like this, you want to be careful not to have your rock sling run into pillars. So you kind of want to get into open space, because remember the 3 rocks need room to breathe. Otherwise they'll end up crashing into a pillar. See how good the skeletons are there, right? He knocked one, he killed one, and it just got back up. And that gets us Banished Knight Engvall, who's really, really good. He costs a lot of FP, but as Mage, we have a lot of FP, so those kinds of summons are okay for us. And now, it's time. Remember the guy that we avoided? The Tree Sentinel. Alright, so now we're going to take on the Tree Sentinel. So if you head out the door here, you'll see him walking. We can summon our skeletons. He is very dangerous. The trick is to make sure you don't get hit while he's doing rock sling, or sorry, while he's doing attacks. You're trying to get off rock sling. You want to make sure he's either distracted or not about to hit you. So if he's close, you want to be careful. Anna. He of course knows that. that, you get the Golden Halberd, which is a fantastic weapon if you're playing Strength Faith. It can carry you through the whole game. And if you are playing Strength Faith, I would actually recommend switching to it from whatever you're using. It does have a very high strength requirement, but it's worth it. You can like get your strength to like 22 and then two-hand it. So now what we're going to do is rest back here at the church. We should be able to... let's see if we have any runes at all. Should be able to level up here. No, it's worth noting that dexterity will actually increase your cast speed a little. So it's not 0 value for pure casting. So now we're going to head west here and go down to the beach. You can just kind of ignore this giant, we really don't care about him. Now remember the invisible bug ball that gave us the poison armament? There's one here that gives us an Ash of War. And again with these I recommend Glintstone Arc. We have to figure out where it's gonna come from. Yeah, too slow. We'll wait for next loop. I find these really annoying just because you miss one chance and then you're just kind of stuck waiting. That gets us Ash of War stamp sweep. From there we're going to head south along the beach. And there's a cave here, but before we go to the cave, I want to show you that there's a merchant here. This is a coastal merchant.
What do you need? I don't want any trouble.
So he actually has cures for poison, bleed, and sleep. He's got some smithing stones, there's a cookbook. And then he also sells short bow and arrows, if you haven't gotten a bow yet. And then now we can go into the cave.
All done? Well, be on your way then.
It's weird, not sure why I wouldn't summon Torrent there. This is the coastal cave. See the Bach is here. It looks like he tried to get his stuff on his own.
You must leave this place. Oh.
So we'll go in here and get Bach's stuff for him since he's on the struggle bus. That's actually the boss room. I think there was actually a little bit we missed upstairs, so let's go back up there. Won't take but a second. Oh, never mind, it was actually just that you could drop into the room. Okay. But we're gonna go down because we can bring out Old Knight Istvan. There's a lot of little ads and then 2 bosses, so just having more bodies to hold aggro is good. And then when we go in this room, we'll be able to summon our skeletons too. This guy's seriously blocking me getting in. Kind of pick one and focus him and just blow him up. Both are out and fighting. The other one just kind of hung back though. Remember, you always want to make sure your free rocks have room to fan out before coming back together. That's the Demi-Human cheese. And we'll get boxed stuff, the tailoring tools and sewing needle. Now do not go back to the entrance though, because look how this continues. And be ready, there are still, I think there's like 1 or 2 more enemies. Or maybe not, maybe they were already down there with the other guy. No, there we go. Thought there was like 1 or 2 more. And now we are actually on the island that Ira talked about, the Church of Dragon Communion. So if you come up here, you'll see the church, there's a grace. So as you kill dragons, you're going to get dragon hearts, like we got with Flying Dragon Nagil. And you spend those hearts to buy incantations. Now, dragon incantations are faith and arcane, typically. And if you're going for a platinum trophy, there will eventually be one that gives you a legendary incantation. So even if you can't use it, you need to buy it just to have owned it. So yeah, you can see they have faith and arcane requirements, but they're breath attacks. Remember, we got that roar medallion that would buff breath attacks. And then, if we go outside really quickly, I think it's around and down here. Figure out the way, where the way down was. There's a, like a smithing stone, I want to say. I think it was here. Yeah. chose Somber 1. And then from here we can go back to the coastal cave and return box tools to him.
Oh. Wait. Is that what I think it is? You got it back for me. My sewing needle.
Wait for him to finish.
What made you go and do a thing like that? My mum and that sewing kit. I always wanted to be just like sweet old... Then I suppose I can't just curl up and die, can I? Thank you. You're very kind. I always wanted to be a seamster like my mum. Then I suppose I...
Now from here we're gonna go to Stormhill Shack. We're going to run this way, kind of hugging the cliff. We're looking for jellyfish. So we're just going to kind of go around here. You can see it kind of you can double back. So first thing we'll do is go forward here. Just a little bit of loot. Now, white jellyfish are happy. They're not going to bother you. Red jellyfish are mad. So red jellyfish are hostile and you have to watch out for those. When we get over here by the red jellyfish, there will be the Godrick Soldier's Ashes as well as some magic grease. Now if you see, hitting any jellyfish makes them all really mad at you. And they'll spray you. So this is the magic grease. Like this one's coming to give me a piece of mind. That's the Godrick Soldier Ashes. And those are all the things that we care about here. So you can kind of just drop back down. And then here, there's some Starlight Shards all the way over here. And this is almost directly south from the Stormhill Shack Grace. Just to kind of, well, I can't bring up a map because I've got a giant mad at me, but... And let's get you the cross legs gesture. Oh god. Now with giants like this, you can hit their legs if you want to. There is actually a statue that we would like him to break. Though I don't remember exactly where it is. But it basically gives you some smithing stones. See, we're more or less back by the golden seed. And this is probably a good stopping point for this session. And then next time we will do stuff up here in the Stormhill area and close that out, and also do the Death-Touched Catacombs and maybe the High Road Cave. So until then, see you next time.